Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, what I like to do is to create videos that I would have found helpful when I first got out looking for treasure. Today, what we're going to be doing is continuing through this bag of cameos that were loaned to me by someone in my children's classes. In fact, it's a mother who has first grade and preschool, just like my kids. So interestingly enough, we got to talking, and it turns out that she does some wonderful repurposing jewelry, and she's got an Etsy store. So if you are interested in these things, her intention is to put these on her Etsy store or to repurpose them into beautiful jewelry and then put that on the Etsy store. So there will be a link to her store on the end of this video and down in the description for you. But without further ado, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna keep going through this. The intent here is to sort this out for her in terms of what is a precious metal, what is a higher end costume in terms of things that probably shouldn't be repurposed, and then what are the cameos that are definitely fodder for turning into something better. And that's effectively what we've been doing with those previous videos. If you haven't watched them, please understand that in the very first video, I pulled out, just randomly, I guess, really some of the best pieces. So you should go back and see, like, for example, this is a 10 karat and precious coral pendant and pin. So that is in the first video, which is so far the best one. The second video had some interesting things too, but nothing as good as that one or the one with the diamond in it. Without further ado, let's start looking. I'm going to pull out, let's see, I want to actually pull this one out of the bag because it looks a little bit better than the average cameo. And the classical correct term cameo is something like this. This is a real cameo in that we have like a piece of shell, and then the shell has different colors on its layers, and then the carving, you can see the carving here of the white layer is that they've carved down to expose the darker layer of the shell to create the pattern. When it's done the opposite, that is intaglio. And this is like an intaglio cufflink that I just happen to have handy right here from a previous video. This piece looks like it may actually be silver. Oh yeah, what do you know? So we have, it's a pendant or pin, and it's a real cameo, and it is executed in 800 silver. So European of origin, most likely. That was a very common place where we get 800 silver from. So let's go ahead and put this one away, and we will continue. If the video seems a little jumpy, that's because I'm trying to save a little of your sanity by hitting the pause button as I put things away. All right, this one looks like it's not a true cameo in that it looks like it's two pieces, and you can see if you look in profile here that this piece on top is glued on. And we're looking at a fairly low quality in terms of the pin, meaning this one isn't going to be gold, but it's Coro, so it is good costume jewelry, and it's well made, and he got some heft to it, but it isn't going to be gold, which is one of the things where we're trying to identify in here. What's gold, what's silver, what's good, what's less good. Okay. Okay, right off the bat, when we're talking about quality, let me zoom out here. I'm going to pull this one out. When we're talking about quality, this is what we're talking about. I'm pretty certain this is going to come out as gold. In fact, it looks like it's probably 10 karat gold. But let's have a look. So first off, despite being small, that is a very nicely carved little piece. These are very nicely made. It's all held in place. This one might end up being gold fill. We'll see. Yeah, I'm thinking this one is gold fill. But it's got some age to it. Wow. Maybe plate. If it were gold fill, it would probably say, but I don't know on this one. So when you get into this old gold, oftentimes you'll end up with low carat gold. And the low carat gold can be a little trickier to verify. I would say this probably isn't solid gold because of how rough the edge is. Generally, when a goldsmith is working with gold, an edge like that is not going to continue to exist. Things are going to be polished and buffed and everything's going to be rounded in. So I'm thinking this one is actually plated, but it's definitely a piece that's made to appear like it's gold. And it is quite nice. I'm definitely going to put that into the nice bin. And again, if you watch the previous videos, I asked if anyone can comment on these things to tell me what's what. I would love to find out, not just for myself, my own curiosity, because I don't know, but also to help out her, the lady who owns these. Okay. So here we have a lower quality piece. It's very clearly gold plate, probably magnetic, yeah. And again, if you don't have one of these magnets and you're sorting jewelry, I swear, when I forget this thing, if I go on a trip and forget it, I feel like I'm blind when I walk into a thrift shop because it's almost like another sense. So here we have a nice piece of glass. I don't know the technical term for this. I'm sure someone in one of the previous videos has said, but it's like intaglio on the back, and then you're looking through the glass to see it. I'm sure there is a technical term for it. This is also weakly magnetic, so you can definitely tell it's plated, and the stones are not going to be set in. It looks like they have prongs, but they're actually glued in if you look really close, which is a very good sign of costume jewelry, and certainly not going to be gold. Let's see how quickly I can get through this. Gold plate. After a while, you can just recognize that back. Definitely gold plate. Oh, there she is. I'll also include that at the end of the video. All right, let's grab. This is okay. All right, first off, I want to say this is really heavy, like weirdly heavy. I should also note, I didn't note in the previous videos, but she bought this whole collection from someone years ago. I think years ago she said, and she paid $2.50 per. And if this is what I'm thinking it might be, probably not, no. So I thought this might be gold just from the heft. But you can see here, we got some plate going on. And I think it is hefty, and it's a cool piece. But I don't think it is gold. I think it's probably brass. Let's have a look at the inside. I think it's I don't know what it is. Seems like it opens though. There it is. Yeah, that's plate. So that's a heavy cast brass plate piece. Maybe she was hoping it was gold. Maybe that's why it's in here. Neat though. Got me excited. Got my blood pumping. Okay, this looks like maybe a piece of Bakelite. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's definitely going to be Bakelite. I am not an expert on the early thermoplastics, but it's hard to mistake proper Bakelite. So maybe I did just mistake proper Bakelite, and all of you are screaming at me that this is something else, but I'm pretty confident. And if it's not, boy, you're going to teach me something in the comments, aren't you? Okay. Let's see here. What do we got? Oh, look at that. All right, I'm liking what I'm seeing. There's a shine to it. See a shine? I like that shine. Not a lot of heft, though, so I have concerns. Let's zoom in and see what we got. This is Wedgwood. Yeah, so that shine is just thick gold plate. That's what that shine is. Now let's just double check the chain. Let's see, do we have a gold chain? Doesn't look like it's marked. Let's check it with the magnet. Oh, well, that's it, magnetic. I think the chain is also costume. Nice, but costume. Although I'm guessing you folks in the comments can tell me, and I'm sure you will tell me, that Wedgwood is collectible. Okay. This looks like brass and plastic. It's got a very brass look to it. And you know what, I'm gonna pause for a moment. I'm gonna grab something, because sometimes you can mistake brass for like rose gold or very old gold, but I'm gonna show you a piece of really old gold compared to this piece of clear brass. Okay, we have it. Let's pull this out. Now what I have here is I have a piece of low carat gold. This is like 8 karat gold. It's gold, but it's very low gold content, like 30%, something like that. See the difference? There's something special about this, even though it's mostly copper. There's a quality to it. You know, here we have the brass. Here we have the low carat gold. So if you're looking at old brass and you think maybe that's gold, definitely is not. Okay, just set that aside for now. Keep going. This is definitely plate. Nice piece though, look at that. Nice mesh. Not the highest quality carving, but pretty cool. I like it. So with pieces like this, you can see, hey, that looks like it might be gold, but if it's gold, it's going to have a better bale, I believe they call this piece. Here, let me pull it out and I'll show you. Okay, so, oh, I guess that wasn't the bale, that's just the clasp. So that's a lower quality clasp, as you can see. But just because you have a low quality chain doesn't mean you haven't put a higher quality piece on that chain. In this case, though, I don't see any markings. Hey, what's going on, kiddos?
Betty? Well, I said my gum, my railing that showed in this day, I put it on my Stockman green pussy, and then 1 second later, I looked for it, and it had disappeared.
Well, it wasn't 1 second later. I caught your little brother with it, and I put it on top of your dresser.
Oh.
So your gum is safe. It's on top of your dresser if you want to go get it.
Okay.
You gonna go?
But I want one of the noodles.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll get those noodles for you. I will be right back, folks. Sorry about that, small children. I think this is probably another one of these Wedgwoods. Look at that. Look at me starting to learn just by looking. Nope. Maybe it's made to look like one of the Wedgwoods, but it is not. And then as far as quality goes, it's very light. This is clearly stamped. We have some corrosion. All right. What else do we have in here? Boy, we're going to have a grand finale with whatever's in these boxes. We'll get to those. Boy, are we going to get to those this video? Oh, come on. All right, we're going to go quickly so we can get to these boxes and see what's what in those. Plate, you can tell, see that's had a rough finish, that sort of rough look. Definitely plate. Okay. Let's see how fast I can get through these so we can get to these boxes before we finish up. Plate. You've seen this a lot. I've talked about this particular I don't know how to explain it exactly other than to say, see how it's kind of like dark and light? There might be some gold plate involved in it, but I think it probably isn't. Set those aside. Okay. Just keep pulling these out. Low quality stamped, low quality carving. Oh. You're gonna have to take a second on this one. So first off, there's some heft to it. So whatever material the Cameo is carved out of is definitely a little bit more. Boy. Intricate. You got some corrosion going on there though. Oh. It's a locket. With a little girl in it. That's cool. Definitely not a high quality piece, but cool nonetheless. All right. Low quality, in fact, probably no. Oh yeah, yeah. Those are magnetic. Oh, that's nice. All right, we're gonna have to pause for a moment. I mean, not pause the video. We're gonna have to pull this one out because this is definitely silver and nice quality. And I hope everybody who's been watching, if you haven't started to gather how you can look at something and go, wow, that's nicer, keep watching and you will see. Now, I will say this is lower quality than I thought initially. See the bail there, how it's actually not one solid piece. This might not end up being silver. It might end up being silver plate. But it sure looks like, yeah, what do we have there? We have some words that say sterling. Yep. And it's definitely a real cameo. That's nice. That's very nice. All right, let's continue through here, see if we can get through the rest of these. I'm just going to pull them out of the bag. So this actually is another one of these. We were just looking at one of these. It's got some corrosion, but I believe it is a locket. I don't know if we're going to find anybody inside. So this looks like it was probably gold fill. Yeah, nah, probably gold plate, but it's mostly brass at this point. How does it open? Opens right there. Nope, nothing inside. Cool piece though. Definitely plated at one point. Okay. That is nicer than average. Maybe silver, maybe nickel silver. Let's have a look. Looks like it has marcasites in it. Those are little stones around the edge. 800 silver. Yep. Cool. Let's have a look at this one. This one looks interesting. Maybe plate, maybe rolled gold. Definitely got some age to it. So it has a very Victorian look. I think it was probably plate. Oh, that is also... Oh, it looks like we're broken. We used to have a pin. And this sort of C clasp dates it to like 1800s. Let's see, does this open? Is that how it opens? Yeah. Oh, look. There's a guy. Interesting. Very cool. All right, let's see. There's a lot of rhinestone action going on there. See the low quality pin. Here's a chain. I'm guessing this is probably going to be, yep, so steel. So that's plate. Oh my, look at that. That's pretty, but it looks like it's probably brass, and I'm guessing, yeah, low quality pin. You can see there, and stamped brass. So it's pretty, but it's like more modern costume. And here again, we're looking at definitely a plate piece. Okay, so let's finish off this last video in the series. Sort of. I'm going to make one more video, but it's not going to be in the unboxing series. See what's in these. All right, which one should we? Well, let's start with this one. It's got a little. There we go. So, are we looking again at this Wedgwood stuff? Yeah, Wedgwood made in England. Oh, Wedgwood made in England. Now let's hit this with a magnet. That doesn't hit with a magnet. All right, so let's zoom out. I don't think that the Wedgwood piece itself is going to be gold. I think it's gold plate. Now it's not magnetic. It's probably gold over brass. But if it were solid gold, you know, our bail here wouldn't be as it is. Now the chain, on the other hand, is definitely worth a second look because it seems kind of nice. Let's see. Does it say anything? Boy, I don't see anything on there. Well, maybe it's just plate too. I don't know. I will have to ask her about the chain. If the chain came with it, keep in mind that sometimes, you know, the clasps will break on a gold chain, so you might have a gold chain with a clasp that isn't actually gold. So you can have gold chains that aren't marked as such. But I don't think this one's going to be gold. All right, let's put that one away. And we have two more. We start with this black one here. What's in the box? Oh, that's pretty. Little painting. Definitely plate. You can see where the plate's coming off. I'm guessing it is a locket. It's a pin. And it has something in it. I don't know what that is. It's not super high quality, and it smells. So we're going to go ahead and close this one up. We're going to put it in the bag, and we won't speak of this. Last one. Now I'm afraid after that one. Oh, it's more Wedgwood. Look at that. It is little clip-on earrings. Very nice. That will wrap up this video. Let me just wheel something over when I finish this up, and I'll also. So if you haven't watched the prior videos, that's 14 karat gold with a diamond. I think ivory and onyx probably. This one is precious coral on 10 karat gold. So there were definitely some cool ones that came out in that first video. I don't know how that happened. Maybe she just put the cool ones in on top, and those are the first ones I grabbed. But yeah, if you haven't watched that video, that one is very exciting. Stay tuned to my channel. You never know what I'm going to be able to dig up. I'm making a lot more friends with people who are into jewelry, and they are increasingly inclined to loan me things so that I can make videos so we can talk about old jewelry. In particular, identifying quality, because what I want you to be able to do is go out and find your own treasure by looking at something and saying, that's special. Why is it special? And then being able to say, this is why it's special. And when you find special things, they are treasures. They're treasures not just to you, they're treasures to everybody. And that's what my channel is all about. So if you enjoy this, please hit that like button. If you haven't yet, I would appreciate a subscription. And leave comments on anything you saw. And again, this Etsy store will be at the end of the video. If there's things here that you're interested in, hit our Etsy store and tell her what you're interested in. I would imagine, given the prior videos that I've had, if there is something you like, you'll want to get on that, because I don't sell, but I do get a lot of messages from people trying to buy my things. So I do know that a lot of folks are interested in buying things, so there may be competition for this stuff. With that, I hope you have a great day.
Like this, I've been Thomas.